There's a play with three aspects within this work. You have the sensuous physicality, this intellectual discretion, and an imaginative release. A choreography of these three elements, I think, is taking place within the tile works. The ambient tile works has this identity that's at once atmospheric and it's permanently in transit. There's a disavowal of pictorial centering and signification systems. It's to be presented large scale within an all-encompassing environment that surrounds the viewer. Within the ceramics material properties, there's this sensual physicality that's intensely durable. It celebrates, in turn, this materiality of pure surface and abstraction. This work is decentered and iconoclastic, and it embraces this kind of gesture of the sublime through what Kant would describe as an overloading of the senses and straining of faculties within the field of encounter. Within Deleuzian parlance, it presents a schema of becoming that's quite intense, and there's a nomadism of outside of the contemporary structure of time. There's this opticality to the work, which means that ideally it should be viewed through your peripheral vision. I'm trying to play out in art what the musician Brian Eno formulated, he's one of my favourite musicians, through the musical genre of ambient music. And that's that there should be this fusion between art and life, and that the role of experience should be occasioned through a process of meditation. The graphic motifs on the tiles don't necessarily fit into any specific genre or era of design. There's this shifting from ancient to modern, or from industrial to futuristic. So you're left in this space where you're induced into an epochal journey. Alongside the ceramic tiles, there are the Mediterranean paintings, and they also serve to kind of dislocate us within our contemporary framework. They're less spatially energetic than the tiles, but the paintings move us temporally, as the ephemeral nature of what is depicted kind of conveys this lightness of touch and this fragility. So it calls forth this series of art historical references and reverberations. You have this melange of the photoreal, there's a kind of enigma of nature morte paintings, you have this kind of antique world of the artisanal craft. There's also the kind of faded pages from V&A catalogues or, I don't know, 1970s publications. The ceramic tile itself has a very long history. It's about 5,000 years old. And throughout this period, it has travelled and been transported. It originated from the Middle East in Persia. Then it moved to its east up to China, and then through the Mediterranean to the west to Europe. There's this recombination of endless variations when it comes into contact with different cultures. So there's a way in which it suggests this malleability or recombinatory potential that I think exists within all cultures. The ambient tile works and the Mediterranean paintings hope to invoke the ability to visualize this world that's yet to come, whilst retaining this memory of some kind of past. So you could say that they're like this fragment from the future. In these worlds, they're not governed by the logic of consumer capitalism or leisure society or tourism or banking or information technology. Rather, these are conditions that our current mental horizons have collapsed into. What I'm trying to do is invigorate the imagination and the realization that there are human needs that are sensual and they need to be touched upon. This is a small gesture, but one that both kind of hopefully offers and opens. I'm affirming something that's either counter or anti-modern, yet without the repressive connotations that might trigger off. There's like a body of work I'm making that I'm trying to help us think outside of geography or contemporary temporality. There's this disorientation in time that this work triggers, and I want it to provoke this potential for an ecstatic imaginary.